Good morning, my friends. Welcome to this episode of Healing Your Codependency. I'm Marshall Bircher, and I'm your guide, helping you transform your codependency into a life of confidence, freedom, and belonging in your world. Today, we're going to be talking about this anxiety that we get, sometimes this panic that we get when someone's nice to us, when someone's kind to us. Why does our body lock up? Why does our mind start racing? Why does anxiety flood our senses when someone is kind or nice to us? What's really going on here? So that's what we're going to be jumping into today. I'm going to bring up my notes here real quick. Just keep us on target. So let's jump in here. So why am I so confused and anxious when someone is kind to me? I know for me, that's a real thing. It was a really loud, prominent thing in my life for many, many years. And there is good reason for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a 4-step process here. We're going to use my framework, the UC framework, which is understand, soothe, sense and soothe, empower, and engage. So that first step is understanding. So what is going on when we have this kind of anxiety? This kind of signal, when it shows up, is really speaking to our past experience. So when our bodies have big reactions to something in our present moment, our body is reacting to the present moment from the lens of the past or from a reference point in the past. So it's basically saying, wow, this situation feels a lot like that thing that happened 10 years ago. And that thing 10 years ago was terrifying. And so now I'm going to make myself become aware of the possible threat or danger that's in this situation right now. So basically what the body has done is it's looked for precursor signals that tell it there is a threat or a potential danger coming. This is why things that are generally innocuous have big trigger effects for those of us dealing with complex PTSD. It's like, oh, things are calm and quiet. Now your body starts to get tense. That's because in the past, when things were calm and quiet, they led to something that was scary and threatening. So the body's like, oh, the precursor to the scary, threatening thing is this calm and quiet state. So I need to be hypervigilant about when things get calm and quiet so I can be prepared for when things get dangerous and threatening. That's what's going on here when someone is kind to us. Someone's been nice to me. The body's like, well, a lot of times when people have been nice to me, then they've ended up yelling at me, hurting me, harming me, discarding me. Some kind of threat or harm or danger, some sort of hurt happens after that kindness. The body's like, okay, well, now we got to get prepared for that. So we get that flash of anxiety. What we want to understand here is that the body is prepping for a repeat of a past event. It does that by getting you energized, getting you alert. It does that through anxiety and fear or panic or even shame. And then the confusion sets in because your body also knows that this isn't the same situation or same person it's dealing with. So it really doesn't know what to prepare for at that point. So what do we do with this kind of reaction so that we can approach real life in a way that empowers our relationships, engages healthy people while soothing our terror or anxiety? Well, the first step is to soothe. We want to sense and soothe. So we're sensing into our experience by pausing, acknowledging, and observing what's alive there. We're like, ooh, and this big flash of anxiety and this tension and prep for, bad things happening. Okay, I know what that is. Oh, I'm also becoming aware that this is something that's happened to me in the past, so my body's prepping for it. This is where we can move into the soothing component. This is where I acknowledge that this pain, that this distress is valid and real for me. It has what I call premise legitimacy, meaning I'm feeling this way because of something I've gone through in the past. Even if I can't recall it, I can safely say, hey, my body's reacting to this based on something I've gone through. So of course it's valid and legitimate. And of course I'm feeling this way because my body is prepping for the potential repeat of a past event. No wonder I'm scared. No wonder this is happening for me. Maybe it's okay. So this helps us start to soothe that distress. I'm going to take a little more time with it, give it a little more legitimization, a little more validity, and like, you know what shifts if I give myself permission to be as anxious as I need to be in this situation? And I see what shows up there. Oh, okay. It's okay to be anxious. It's okay for me to respond to this. It's okay for me to understand what's going on for me. And then we can move into the empowerment stage where we start to differentiate this situation from past situations. And we can do that by looking at the differences between them. Is this the same person? Is this the same scenario? Is it the same kind of situation? What is different with this person than the other person? What is different from this scenario than the previous one? What is different from this circumstance than the previous one? How am I different from who I was then versus who I am now? What resources do I have? What power do I have? What actions can I take that I couldn't do back then? This allows us to empower ourselves to both understand the actual situation at hand while care for our past situation and resource ourselves. That allows us to then engage with the situation. And this is where we can employ some questions about, hey, what do you need? What's going on for you here? Tell me more about what you're feeling. This is where we can give them a heads up. Hey, I'm dealing with some really charged energy, so I'm going to be really slow to respond to this. I need to process it, then I'll get back to you. It's also where we can implement some of our resourcing. We can regulate our anxiety. We can soothe it with specific tools and practices. We can titrate the energy. We can reach out to others for support or reinforcement, reassurance, clarity. We can also lean into trusting ourselves a bit and go, hey, what shifts if I trust just a bit that I can navigate this situation effectively? And then I can lean into trusting that a bit and see what changes. This allows us to engage more proactively and more presently with what's showing up for us. Because, my friends, this kind of activation is a normal thing for those of us that deal with complex PTSD. It's a normal thing when we're coming out of codependency, because the real healing work here is to help our body discover a new reality in addition to its past experiences. So we're not erasing or overriding past experiences. What we're doing is we're adding an additional one to our library of lived experience so that we can say, hey, I know with person A, this reaction makes sense because they have not been safe for me. But I also know with person B, they have been safe because I've given them the chance to show up and they've proven it. And I can trust that a little bit more. So I can respond to person B differently than person A. And that allows our body to differentiate these people and go, oh yeah, person B, I'm good, but person A, I'm not because they're not safe for me. This empowers us to succeed in growing our healthy relationships while leaving relationships that don't work for us. It helps us inhibit the sabotage that comes in because of the unprocessed trauma there. And it gives us the ability to be empowered to grow our relationships, grow our confidence, and maintain the connections that really matter to us. That's the beauty of this approach. So you want to understand that what's showing up for you is valid and legitimate. Then you need to soothe it by acknowledging and legitimizing it. Then you need to empower yourself by differentiating the current situation from past situations so you know what is real and accurate. And then you want to engage with the situation and that person based on what is real in that moment from your regulated state. So if you want assistance in building these skills and taking this deeper, the foundation trainings are open for enrollment. We start January 22nd, 2024 for the live version. Links are in the description or at my website at healercodependency.com. Come and join us and master these skills so that you can take this into your world and maintain the relationships you love, let go of the ones you don't, and find that you experience your own brilliance. Because really, we're not healing codependency. We're actually becoming who we are in an empowered, engaged, soothed, and comprehended state for ourselves. So that's the magic of my work here. My friends, go gently with yourself with this. This is deep work we're doing here. And always remember that your emotional reactions come from a valid premise. That is the premise of the past, generally, and then sometimes the present, and sometimes even the future. So we don't have to gaslight ourselves about what we feel. Instead, we'd be like, I'm feeling this for a valid reason. And I need to gauge what reality is and make the best choice for me from there. So my friends, that is today's episode. Thank you for your time, for your energy, for your trust and contribution to my life and my work. Go gently as you explore this, and if you want additional support and guidance, make sure to check out the links below in the description to join the community, join my email list, or join those foundation trainings. So go gently, and I will see you guys on our next episode. Bye-bye. So thank you for watching this episode, and you want more episodes like this, check out the recommended video above. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you're ready to take the leap and heal your codependency, check out my workshop linked below on how to heal codependency permanently. Then you can understand how I help you restore safety, connection, and worth in your life, and how that liberates you from your codependency and empowers you in creating the relationships, the satisfaction, fulfillment you want in your life. So check that out below. Thank you again for showing up, guys. Bye-bye.